I was thinking this morning as I was participating in silence that it's a good idea when you want to add something to your routine to add it to the schedule. Now, I have kept silence in my daily routine this past week, but what I didn't have written in my schedule was the creating of the reflection video and blocking off the time to get it uploaded to YouTube and in the playlist. So I owe you some videos. I'm going to make this a summary video of the last few days. It's been a very interesting few days for me. One of the things that's happened in the past 48 hours was I led music for a staff retreat, a church staff retreat. And as we were all getting to know each other, it was kind of an icebreaker exercise. I was meeting somebody for the first time in our small group and mentioned that I've been doing silence in the morning, and she laughed and lovingly was saying, "Silence? What's that? When would I fit that in my day?" And I was so appreciative of her real-time feedback. And I've mentioned in some previous videos some ideas of how you might fit silence or meditation or prayer time into your day if it just seems really daunting, if you have a really busy household. And she was describing that. She has young children and her husband, and it just didn't seem like something she would have time to add to her morning. So if you scroll back just one video in the playlist, you'll see where I shared an idea of how you might fit it into your routine if it seems like something that would be really hard to do. So I just share that with you. And I want to share with you something that I have been studying in this past week. Quite a while ago, like almost 20 years ago, I think, I had gotten a book about the power of water. And I still have that book. I haven't gotten it out in a little while, but some ideas that are in that book about water and its reflective properties and its how it can react differently to its environment. There is a Japanese researcher who had done this research and had written this book, and he did microscopic photography of water when it had been flash frozen in a petri dish. And he used different types of water from different sources. So some of it was water from a spring, water from a polluted river. He tried taking words and writing them on paper and then exposing the water to the words on the paper. So positive words like joy, happiness, love, and then flash freezing droplets of that water and watching with the camera and the microscope and then snapping pictures of the beautiful structures that formed. The hexagonal structures, like what you see if you ever looked at a snowflake on your windshield, or maybe one's fallen from the sky and landed on your skin and you were able to see it for a few moments before it melted. They're simply beautiful. Well, that same researcher had done some work where he had exposed water to negative words. And in that case, the pictures he captured, the water structures were jagged and discolored. So I was thinking about all that, and then I happened to kind of stumble across a video on Dr. Kim Diarmo's channel. So if you look up Dr. Kim, her videos, I have been finding them so interesting. And she interviews people sometimes. So this was a video where she was interviewing Veda Austin, who does similar kind of research. She takes a little bit different spin on her research, but the two of them were talking about the healing power of water and how our bodies are molecularly, our bodies are 99% water. If you're thinking about from a body mass standpoint, it's about 65 to 75% of our bodies, and that depends on our age and our size and our health and probably other factors that I don't know at the moment. But a lot of our being is water. So if you're not drinking a lot of water, you should start doing that. I don't speak about that as a medical authority, but just to me, that just feels like a no-brainer. Knowing how much of us is made up of water, we need to be rehydrating regularly. Well, let me take you forward to Tuesday when I was in the recording studio and recording keeper vocals for a couple more of the songs that are going to go on my new album. And I had a glass of water there in the studio that I was drinking, and one of the songs I was recording is very whimsical, and it's a fun love song, but of a real whimsical nature. The other one is a very serious song, more about self-love. And I've been thinking from the moment that I wrote it, it's one of those songs that just spilled out of me in the early morning hours, like 4:35 in the morning. I was waking up and hearing these words in a dream and thinking, oh my gosh, I got to get a guitar in my hand and start capturing these words. And right away, I for some reason knew what chord I wanted to start with, and it just flowed from there. And since I've been singing that song, preparing to record it in the studio, I've been thinking, these words are going to touch people that are hurting. And so as I was singing it, we've been doing this practice of singing the song for the keeper vocals 3 times through. So I sang it the first time, we reviewed it, listened back to it, updated a couple of the words that I had sung, and I remembered taking a drink of that water and then also just kind of like holding the glass of water to my heart. And then I was praying. There's the word edge in this song, and I was praying that I could sing the word edge the way it needed to be heard by the people who would be listening to the song in the future. And each time, so I sang it the second time, and then I repeated that process. And I took another drink of that water, and I prayed over the song again. And the third time through, it just felt like, that was the vocals for that particular song that we would keep. And Michael was producing, he was at the board, and he felt the same way after I reacted to it the way that I did. And my husband Scott, he felt the same way about it. Then yesterday I played it just on my phone, the mix that now has the instrumentation in it along with my vocals. And it's not a finished mix yet, but I was playing it for a friend of mine who, just like 4 or 5 words into the song, she started crying. And then after I played it all the way through, and I asked her, as I was watching her reaction to it, asked her if I could interview her about it. And I turned my voice memo recorder on, and I'll probably use our conversation in my podcast here in the future. What she shared was so beautiful and tied so directly to that experience in the studio. And she was saying things about the word edge, and I don't want to give the song away in this moment, but the very things I was praying over and then thinking about as I was rehydrating and drinking from that beautiful glass of water, which was just a simple water glass with filtered tap water. But that water had been there, present in the room, listening to the words as I had sung them the first time, listening to the music as we had played it through a little bit. That's probably too much information in terms of I can hear you going, where is she going with this? I can't wait for you to hear the song, that particular song, on my new album, and also to hear the interview with my friend, as she, without maybe even meaning to, was speaking blessing over that song in how it would reach others. It just so intrigued with how several synchronicities have happened this week related to the silence, related to the beauty and the rehydrating and refueling properties of water, and related to love. And I feel like the silence is making me more self-aware and more aware of these moments as they happen. I pray for you that you have that kind of experience as well as you practice silence. And I know it will be unique to your life. It might not be around music, it might be something else. But I pray that it helps you be more in tune with the things in your life that you want to be tuned into. I love you, my friend. I'll see you soon.